Hi Petria, thanks for joining us at Project 70.
Thank you, nice to see you.
Awesome. So can you tell us a bit about yourself and your story?
Sure. So my name is Petria. I am the owner of Coco Interiors, which is an online business that's based in the Redlands. I am also a FIFO wife and I have 4 gorgeous children.
Wow.
So a little bit about me is I actually lived on Macleay Island with my family when I was 2. We moved there. So we lived there from when I was 2 to about 12. I think it was grade 6. I lived there on Macleay Island, it was amazing. I think it wasn't until I got older and I realised what it was like to live on an island. It's completely different to living on the mainland. We called Australia mainland, which is ridiculous. But yeah, it was really amazing. So we had a little family. I'm actually still, one of my best friends today is still from when I used to live on there and I did primary school there. And we also had a boat. So I think one of the benefits of living in the Redlands, and especially living on the island, is that you do a lot more boating. So our school holidays where we spent at the Tangalooma Wrecks at Moreton Island. That's obviously before they were sunk or cut off now. So we used to climb all over the wrecks because they weren't actually that old then when I was younger. So it was definitely an experience that I'm glad we did. My grandparents also used to live on Coochie-Madlo Island. So again, my school holidays I'd be sent over to Coochie-Madlo Island because my parents were working. And yeah, it's just a completely different way of life. Everything slows down. I feel that even though the Redlands is quite a slower place to live, it's still much faster than on the islands. So 1996, we ended up moving off the island. My dad also sold his boat and we moved to Toowoomba. So I went from an island to country, 2 completely polar opposites. But I was from Toowoomba and my family were based in Toowoomba still. So in Toowoomba, I did grade 9 until high school. Just after high school, I lived in Toowoomba, and during that time, I started university, but decided it was not for me. And I saved and I moved overseas when I was 19. So I lived in the UK for 2.5 years from when I was 19. And again, looking back on that now, I realise it was really young. I was always the youngest of all my friends over there, but it is really young, and it's definitely it's a life-changing moment, I think, when you move overseas, because that was the first time I've been on a plane. It was all these things that, I don't know, to look at now, if I see my daughter doing that, I'd realise that that's a really young thing to do. But yeah, so I lived overseas for 2.5 years. I got married. I had met my first husband. And we come back to Australia and we got married, and we ended up going back to the UK and still travelling for a little while. And then we come back, and within 3 months I fell pregnant with my first daughter. So this was a bit of a surprise. I wouldn't say it was it was slightly unexpected. Again, I was only 22. So yeah, so I fell pregnant. So I was in the middle of planning to go to Brazil and to South America, so my focus was definitely not on having children. It was more so on traveling where our next adventure was going to be. But everything happens for a reason, I believe. So I have my beautiful daughter. She's now turning 11. Unfortunately, that marriage didn't last. So my ex-husband and I, we divorced when she was quite young. And then, what else? And then, so from that time on, so I was a single mum for a little while, which again, everything happens for a reason. I found my feet. I actually moved to Toowoomba to be with my family during that time. And then I moved back down to Brisbane. And it was coming back to Brisbane that I met my current husband. So my husband, Ben, and I, we've been together for 10 years. And out of that time, he's been doing FIFO for 8 years. So we've done more FIFO than we have actually been together, which sounds crazy. But again, it's just something that this is our life. We've just done it like this, and all of our children feel it's normal. We feel it's normal. It's definitely not for the faint-hearted. Being a FIFO family is hard work sometimes. There's definitely times when we both have our moments when we would like it to stop and we look at other avenues. But for the best part, it's provided us with financial, I wouldn't say financial freedom, but we've been able to do a lot of things quite young. So
you got to be a FIFO family is not for the faint-hearted.
Yes.
But it's normal for you guys.
Yes, completely normal for us. So During the time of being FIFO, we had just had a second daughter. We actually lived in Mount Gravatt, so this was before we moved back to the Redlands. So we got married, and then we realised that I don't know, we had that sort of thought, it's like, is this what it's going to be like now? We're just going to just be living in Brisbane and working, and that's going to be it. So we actually used to holiday a little bit in Bali in Indonesia. So, and we always had these thoughts, it's like, what if this could be real? If this could be your normal life? And after a little bit of investigation, we realised that there's a huge expat community there. There's like, I think 20,000 expats at any given time in Bali, which is a super small, it's a really small island. So the fact that there's that many people there, really quite surprised us. So we ended up selling our house at Mount Gravatt East. We got the okay from my ex-husband to take my older daughter away for the year, which was really quite surprised that was because we have 50-50 shared care. So understandably, we would, if he'd said no, we'd completely get that. But anyway, that kind of was our life-changing moment. This is what led us to starting a business. It kind of changed the mindset of everything. So we lived in Indonesia for a year. My husband still did fly in, fly out work because he was based mostly in WA. So he just flew from WA to Bali, and it was quicker. It's like 2 hours or 3 hours on a flight, which was, quicker than coming back over east, back over to Brisbane. So we lived in Bali for a year. My daughter went to the International Australian School there, and we lived in a beautiful villa. We didn't really cook, and we didn't really clean, and we lived a really nice life. It's not, everyone thinks it's going to be cheaper to live in Indonesia. It's not, because you live more luxuriously. Like you have, I had a really beautiful lady that helped me with the girls, and it was only part-time, but it was just enough that I could still go do yoga if I wanted to do yoga, or have a coffee with a friend. And I don't think you feel guilty about it, because back here in a Western society, people don't have helpers necessarily, and they don't have people helping out, and like you kind of looked at us and like, why are you letting someone else look after your children? Whereas over there, it's okay. And the beautiful family that helped us, we're actually still friends. We're Facebook friends, and we catch up every time that we're there, even though they speak next to no English, it's a really weird thing to be catching up with people, but it's completely, I don't know, it works. It's a funny thing, I suppose. But so when we were there, there is a story with Indonesia that there is actually, I don't know whether it's a dream time or whether it's their history, is that it's quite a serpents that crisscross the world. And when the two serpents cross, it's a place that's full of creativity, and you feel very connected to the earth. That's why there's a huge yoga presence in Bali, because everyone's feeling so connected, and everyone's inspired. Every expat that is there for a reason. I think I was saying this the other day, is that I know people that created restaurants. Like one of my girlfriends has a restaurant now with a vintage parachute as her roof, and it's completely normal over there. Here, everyone would be like, why are you doing a roof or a parachute? First of all, health and safety would say no, but nothing is unlimited there. You can do whatever you want. So we had all these ideas. We had two different ideas for a business. One was a furniture business, and another one was for a more nature-based play centre. And coming back to Australia, we realised that might not be fundable right now, but doing the furniture and importing would be. So that was the start of Coco Rose. So Coco Rose is actually my daughter's third name, my third daughter's name. She was conceived in Bali. And that was the start. That's how we started our business. So we come back to Australia to have my third daughter, and I was going a little bit insane. I hadn't worked for about 3 years, and I've always worked a couple of days. I think as a mum, I think you can be a really good mum, but I think it's nice to have your own time as well. You can do everything that you want to do, but I was never meant to be just a stay-at-home mum. So yeah, going a little bit insane, and we saved a little bit of money, and we decided to use the contacts that we made to start our business. It's definitely, again, not for the faint-hearted. It's not, running a small business is hard work, but it's better to be doing it for yourself, I think, if that makes sense. Like, I wouldn't have, even with Atlas, I come home from the hospital, and within a day I'd checked my work emails, and it wasn't because I had to, it's just because I didn't mind. It's my business, and you don't mind working on your business. It's a passion. It's something that you really feel inspired about. So we've been running Coco Rose now. So we moved back, we've started our business. We took about 9 months to kind of start of thought that we're going to be doing it to actually doing it. And we had our first shipping container arrive, and it was really exciting. It was, it's really exciting because I've had a few business ideas over my adult life, but I've always been a bit too scared to take that jump. It's financial. It's a big jump, I feel, and I just didn't want to take it. But for some reason, this one stuck, and we decided to do it. And yeah, so nearly 18 months later, nearly 2 years, we've been doing Coco Rose Interiors. So we import bohemian furniture and decor from Indonesia. It's definitely something that, I don't know, I like being challenged. I've learned so much stuff. Being a small business owner, you are every hat. You do accounting, you do marketing, you do your SEO words, you do advertising. So I've learned so much in that short amount of time, and I've met some amazing people. Absolutely amazing people. There's a lot of family or friends that would be very quick to go question why you're doing it, because they have their job security and they feel that is for them, but they just questioned if this was the right decision for us. But once I started our business and I started networking with all these other like-minded people, I realized I'm not just the only one who has these feelings to work for yourself. So it's hard work with 4 children and working. Atlas is 6 months old, and probably within the next month he'll go to daycare just for 2 days a week. It's been fine up until now, but now I want to go back to work. I want to. I'm not working so much at night, so I'd either get up really early or work late at night. But he still wakes up a couple of times at night, and the other girls wake up at 5 o'clock every day. So my sleep is really precious. So I've just had to accept and swallow this cup of cement that for this time, it's okay. Like, it's okay to not be dominating the interior
World.
the interior world. Right now, I can dominate it later, but right now I've focused on my family, which I wouldn't change because we wanted to have Atlas. Hey. So throughout doing our Coco Rose interiors, so I've met a whole lot of mums. I also feel that our business might slightly be changing a little bit into maybe like a different, more, because we're all about eco-friendly, sustainable. We want fair trade. We want people to be handmade. Thank you. So that's a really strong passion, and it's come even more apparent now with this, and I'm focusing the more I'm discovering. So I feel that our business might be heading slightly towards a different angle, but it's very, very early stages of that. My advice to people, I suppose, to running a business with a family is to be organised. You have to be organised. If you don't make the lunchboxes the night before, it's this flow-on effect the next morning. I try to have my lounge room somewhat clean each day, my kitchen a little bit clean, and my bedroom. My bedroom is a no toy, no nothing, because it's my only place in my house that I get my space. So I try to do a quick sweep or a mop the night before. I try to have the lunch boxes done, have it so it's prepped, so then 4 children in chaos of actually getting out of the house is slightly easier. And I wake up, I think it's all about mindset as well. You need to have a really positive mindset. If you I do meditation. I do half an hour of meditation at night every night, because again, you start to go crazy because you don't have, being a FIFO wife, you don't really have as much time. Oh, you're fluffy. Being a FIFO wife, I don't have a lot of time by myself, or if I do, it's planned time. So I'm always going and doing something. I'm not actually just being at home. Being organised, definitely being organised is one of the main things. Obviously, with having my husband away, the girls, as they're getting older, they notice it. Not that they don't accept it, but they're noticing it. So we do lots of things. We're talking to their dad all day, well, frequently during the day, and we're sending pictures and messages. So probably my advice from a FIFO family is, if they are looking to try it, is to just try it. Just see what it is. Don't be hating that they're away, or if they're hating being away, just support them. Because if you've got a financial goal that you're working towards, we wouldn't have been able to start our business without my husband working away. We wouldn't have been able to live in Indonesia without my husband working away. So sometimes you just need to take that jump into the unknown that you don't know. It's like starting a business, like having 4 children. You don't really know what it's going to be like until you do it.
Is it ever overwhelmingly hard?
Yes, when my child screamed for 3 months. So Atlas, I realised after many paediatrician visits and frequently doctors, is that I didn't have enough milk supply for him. So if I'd say that was a breaking point, it was, he cried for 3 months pretty much straight. My husband was away for 6 weeks. So he was here for the first 3 weeks, and then he was away for 6. and he didn't quite understand. I'm like, he cries a lot, like a lot, and he doesn't want to settle by himself, and he's always in a pouch on me. So I think as a mum and as a person, you need to have some time away. Like, you need to be like, children are asleep and you can sit down and watch reality TV for half an hour, and that's your space, whereas I was having no space, nothing for 3 months. So yeah, that was hard. Yeah, that was definitely hard because, again, you're not sleeping, you're still doing driving, and yeah, that was probably the hardest. But as soon as we fixed his feeding problems, he's fine. Yeah. So it's I'm always tired, but I think any parent is, whether you were a full-time working mom or whether you're a stay-at-home mom. I think you're always tired. You're never going to sleep like you slept pre-children. But I have coffee. I like to have a cup of coffee or two a day. And again, I think it's mindset, because my husband sometimes when he's away, he'd rather be at home. But when he's at home and he takes over and does dad duties at night, he's like, I'm so tired. And I talk to him. It's like, well, you can't be cranky.
Come sit next to him.
Oh, there you go. You can see it. It's like, you can't be cranky, because if I was like that, I'd be cranky for 3 weeks straight because I'm tired every single day. And it's true. As soon as you kind of think about it in something in a different way and change your mindset, it's like, well, yeah, I'm so happy that I've got 4 children that wake me up really early every day, because some people don't have 4 children and they want to.
It's touching.
Yes.
So what do you love about living in the Redlands?
Mama.
Well, what brought you back to the Redlands,
What are
actually?
you doing?
Do you know what? House prices. I never actually thought I would move back to the Redlands. It was something that was kind of done and dusted, and that was my
What are
childhood.
you doing?
Yeah, it was something that I didn't ever consider. And when we sold our house in Mount Gravatt East, we sold it for a great price. Hindsight, we probably should have kept that house at Mount Gravatt East, because it was always going to make us go to be a nice little pocket money saving there. But my dad lives at Cleveland. Don't do that. My dad lives at Cleveland. So after 2 months of house hunting back where we used to live, we come back out here. He's like, just have a look. Just look at the prices. Within the first 2 houses that I looked at, I was like, okay, we'll be moving back to the Redlands. It's so much more affordable. Like, for what we bought this house, we would have had a little post-war house, like on this tiny little 400 square block back in, like, closer to the city.
Yep.
But yeah, the house prices are amazing. So we now live in a, like, not a new house, but a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a pool, and it's cheaper than what we could have bought back there. So I'm not going to lie, it did take a little bit of adjusting living so far from the city. Not that I even went to the city, but I could in 10 minutes if I wanted to go to the city. So yeah, definitely the first 6 months I was like, what have we done? Why are we here? But I wouldn't change it now. I've got a beautiful friend network. We live close to the bay, and that's something that's really quite nice. Yeah, so now that I have a beautiful friend network, the girls are starting kindy, we do all our swimming lessons and everything out here. It's beautiful. We're close to the bay. We can actually go walking by the water. The girls love going down to, is it O'Halloran Point? Or,
Victoria Point.
Yeah, Victoria Point at the beach that's just there. So it's really nice, the appeal of it. There's something different about living by the water, which we're only like not even 10 minutes to the water now. But and Stradbroke Island as well. That was something that I hadn't visited since I was a children, but now we holiday there frequently because you're literally a stone's throw. You feel like you're far away from home, and you catch a barge and you're back home within 5 minutes. So it's yeah, it's beautiful. This isn't going to be our forever home. This will be just our stepping stone because we want to be closer to the water. Yeah. But we love it. Yeah, we definitely love it. It's something the girls are all they're all enrolled into their schools when they finally start school, and yeah, it's just nice. It's just it's much more laid back. The only thing that I think they need more of is a few more better coffee shops. I think living closer to the city, you're used to having suburban coffee shops.
And I think you'll get that as more and more of those who frequent coffee shops move out to the area.
Oh, 100%.
Because we're a heavily aged population.
Yeah, yep.
But now there are more, because I've been back 18 months.
Okay.
There's more and more coming back to where they grew up.
And they need the coffee. They need the suburban coffee shops. This is what it literally is. It's one thing that I did not even consider to think, but there's 2 coffee shops that I really like, and I will go to them. But where
are they?
So I like the Bloom Room Cafe and Ginger and Lime, I think it is. But they're not even in Alex Hills. I've still got to drive to them, but it's just nice. So I think yes, there's definitely potential for lots of businesses in the coffee shops down here. But yeah, it's lovely. We love living in a quiet cul-de-sac. Actually, that was one thing, because where we used to live in Mount Gravatt East is it was quite an older area, so it wasn't young families, it was lots of old, they'd been retired, so our children couldn't ride their bikes out on the streets because it was a bit more of a main street, whereas here our girls can ride their bikes around, and all the neighbours are really watching out for them and for us, and it's nice. It's a really nice community network. Our dog likes to escape a lot, so I've met heaps of our neighbours and they're really nice. Everyone brings them back. Like, I don't think they would do that back at where we used to live, or they'd be like, oh, there's a dog, and they just keep driving, whereas I'm talking like 20 or 30 times our dog's got escaped, and I have actually made friends with some of our neighbours now, like faraway neighbours. So yeah, we love it.
It's interesting you say that about the cul-de-sac, because it's just come out that they want to in the planning laws ban cul-de-sacs.
Oh, why?
Because then they can fit more. You can fit more houses when you don't have cul-de-sacs. It takes more space.
Ah.
But it will kill the family dynamics that cul-de-sacs create.
Yeah. Oh, completely. Because we've got the neighbours across the road. They've got 2 little kids. I know, like even Coco's been going out there since she was 1. Like I can see her from here, and I'm watching her, but no way would I let my 1-year-old go out somewhere, like out on the street by themselves. Like she's with her sisters, but.
So when you're having a hard day, what is the one thing that keeps you going?
Knowing that I'll go to bed early that night. Yeah. The sleep is the biggest thing, I think. If you, like it's anyone, and whether you're a new parent or you're full-time working, it's you need to sleep. So I just make sure on those nights I maybe don't mop my floors, or I don't do some of the things that I classify as like a necessity, and I'll go to bed. I choose sleep over being organised that night. But we've had our goals. I think that's the biggest thing is like as a young family, like you've got your financial goals. So by my husband working away, you know he's going to be coming back.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's... So I feel so glamorous right now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for being a part of the project.
My pleasure.
And we look forward to telling your story.
Yay, thank you for having me. Thank you. You say thank you, guys?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brilliant.